Okay, let's get this done. Okay, how do you do this? You just right?
I don't know, there should have been directions on the side there somewhere. Okay, so that just blew up, sort of.
Turns out we don't make biscuits very often.
We don't make anything out of a tube can thing like this.
Okay, so let's get our biscuits on. Sorry.
Oh, this is a biscuit test, by the way. Did we even say that?
Hey, so I just wanted to show everybody what this grill is kind of doing during a fire and why it's taken me 18 hours to do like a solid brisket. I'm not even gonna test up here because I'm pulling that down. Let's get it hot.
So this is to test.
Yeah, so we're gonna let this
where
sit
the
for 20
heat
minutes.
is.
This is a test how the heat is flowing through the grill and to find our hot and our cold spots before I do all the changes to it.
Look, we mowed the lawn. I mean, Steven mowed the lawn. We had some kind of unique plants growing here, but they have to go because of the insane amount of bugs we have. Mosquitoes are crazy. Right now you can see all the dragonflies feeding. Well, I guess we could have guessed.
Yeah, we knew that these were going to be 20 minutes at about 3 to 325. See how like already these ones are like almost barely done. Like they're still I think kind of doughy.
They look doughy, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the back one.
Yeah, there we go.
Even these though, like that's better.
That looks.
But yeah, you're never putting meat right there. But you could put meat like basically right here. And it's not really getting, the front's getting just a little crispy. And that's it. So you can put it just a little bit back. Yeah, because by the time you get back here, you get like no crisp at all. And it's like, it's mushy.
Oh, I want to eat it.
Yeah, okay.
There's a friend in our yard. Or our driveway. Hi, buddy. Pretty sure that's a snapper. It's not safe for you out here with the dogs. Do you want to go to the pond? I don't know how to deal with you. How do we get you to the pond? I mean the big pond, that is.
Probably have a dozen other projects to do. Oxygen sensors to put in this guy. Fence to build somewhere back there. But let's work on a barbecue. This thing is like really easy to take out. We'll pretend to be married over there. Something else for the dogs to try and get into. It's the top rack. Okay, we're now at one great cooking machine. So this is gonna go right there. And I did some research. I know that this is like, you're not supposed to get this above like, what, 350 degrees or so. And I'm not gonna really have to worry about that because I'm not gonna do that. So we're gonna use this as kind of a shelf right here to make my cut. So it has a natural place to just sit right there. I'm gonna marker this all out where I want it so you can see how that bolt right there is in the way. But as this comes down, I'll measure that out too and I'll cut it. And then once I close this clamshell, it'll be closed for good. We're gonna seal it and I'm gonna cut a new door on this top part lid. So after I get this out, I think what I'm gonna start doing is making some measurements on this top lid with like a pencil or a marker or something. Start getting ready to open this up and make a new door. Biggest problem with this grill, in my humble opinion, is this thing right here. It is not making enough exhaust pressure for me to keep a good fire lit in that box. So we're gonna ditch it to the barbecue graveyard, wherever that ends up being. Got a big old hole at the top of my thing here. All right, I'm officially armed with a pencil and a tape measure. I'm really bad at math and measuring, full disclosure. This isn't gonna be perfect. I'm not gonna try and make it perfect. Again, this is a $30 barbecue and the whole idea is to Frankenstein it into being a better barbecue. So, oh, hi mosquito. It is a Frankenstein grill. It's not supposed to be pretty. I just want it to work. I'll probably have better barbecues in my lifetime. This is just something that I'm experimenting with. The first problem that I noticed right away is that I have something to kind of localize myself to the top of the door where I want it here, but on the other side there's nothing. And I don't really have that many straight edges here. I'm gonna see if I can find something that long and that straight that I can kind of like draw a line across Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to eyeball it and hope for the best. So I'm hoping I don't have like a crooked gate here on the top, because this part's kind of crucial you get right. And then I'm gonna take this handle off right now too, so I can kind of get my measurements and run a saw underneath there. And then yeah, once I have a feeling it's straight enough, I'll start making my cuts. Here's one of the first problems that I've run into measuring this all out. You see I'm kind of sketching out my door, and most of this has come together. However, this is measured about 3.5 inches away from this lip, and this is measured about 3.5 inches away from this lip. So I have that nice and squared up there. Roughly, it could be a little bit more. Look how loud that is. So obviously this right here, this part is not square coming all the way down this barbecue. And if you kind of look at it coming out, you can see how it bows out a little bit coming down towards the bell. On this side, it was actually more lined up, which is funny because that's the side where the firebox is. You think that'd be more work, but you look down in here, look at all the space I have to fill, and you can see it looks like the gap gets wider as it goes forward. So barbecue life. What I'm going to do is, because I know this line coming down is straight, you can see it's not crooked. I'll even measure that twice, but I'm probably just going to take this line and carry it down, and that's what I'm going to use. That's what I'm using. Hi, doggy. You trying to steal my wood and eat my barbecue? She's just gonna inspect all. So pay no attention to what's behind the curtain. I got the lid off this barbecue and officially disassembled the majority of it. I got it over here, sitting on the ground. I need to find a pair of safety glasses, and then I'm gonna go get a thing to ruin this barbecue.
Steven's gonna cut.
Leave a little tab in the middle here, so I'm gonna skip over a little bit and keep going. It's not the straightest line in the world. You can see here where it's like a little wide where I first cut in, and then here it's thinner as I started figuring out what I'm doing. I had the thought when I was first cutting into it was, Steven, what the heck are you doing? And then I remembered that I only paid $30 for it, and I could ruin it if I want. So let's continue. And yes, I should be wearing safety glasses. Whatever.
Same?
I am installing these hinges, 6 inches off the side here. That's what it's gonna look like, how my hinges are gonna look. I think it's pretty uniform and even. Just drilling the holes here. This one is still not drilled all the way. Just coming in here and finding the right size. I still have to put some flat stock behind this so that the lid has something to set on, so this isn't gonna be its forever home. Recenter it. Switch drill blades right here, which I can't do one-handed. I'll drill the center one like I did on that, get the screw in there, and then I'll go in and I'll drill all the other holes for these things so that I can finish making my cuts, reinstall that handle, open this door up, and then start installing my little my lip for the door to set on when I close it. I'm taking just a little bit of this barbecue silicone and I put it on the side of these screws that aren't coming back out again. Just gonna screw those in. Some flat stock I'm cutting to measure. I'm gonna paint all that barbecue black when I get done with it. Just made the cut here. It's like 27.5 inches. So I gotta get it all measured out, but that's what it's gonna look like when I get done. Just got earmuffs on, so hopefully I'm not talking too soft or too loud. I am putting the side things in. You can see I already have the top one mounted. I have the bottom one in. I don't have a welder. I'm not a very good welder to begin with, so we're just gonna bolt these in, and then we're gonna use a little bit of barbecue silicone to seal them up. I didn't have enough room with this lip on the back side of here, so we went ahead and put these in backwards. Again, it is a Frankenstein grill. This one I did not drill at all correctly. I did a little bit better with that one. It's not gonna be the prettiest thing in the world. I just want it to smoke a brisket better than it does. I'm not making any apologies for how lackluster my design is here, because again, I am not good at this at all. I had this guy all measured out and fitting just perfect. And then I realized that I had put this thing in here upside down or inside out. Anyway, now my perfect piece is off by a country mile. I have some silicone to fill, but that's not gonna fill with silicone. It fits a little bit better over here, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get it in there like that, bolt it in, because then it's less off down here. Yeah, I can split the gap a little bit right there. And again, I'll be able to get that filled with silicone, and that'll be fine. Not necessarily the outcome that I wanted. The other side will fit tighter, but it is what it is. It's what I get for being a dope. If I had more money, I'd go out and buy another piece of flat stock and recut, but I'm not gonna do all that for that much of a gap. I'll fill it in. Whoops. Okay, we are pretty much all done with the fabrication of this thing on the hood. I still gotta cut out the new chimney, but we're gonna wait until I get all this stuff painted. I want to get it all painted. I got some barbecue paint. Problem is that the curse of me wanting to paint continues. It's on and off again, just pouring down. I'm pretty proud of this. Again, it's supposed to be a little Frankenstein-ish. There's some rough edges on there. We're gonna get it all painted black and I don't know. You noticed last one is black, right? I don't have the very first lines for this traced out. Sort of. The problem I'm having is that this thing it's squishy. So I'm gonna grab this tape measure, and I only get one shot at cutting this. It's, I'll be able to squeeze it in here, and I'm just gonna silicone it in once I get it into place, and then I'll have to get the top lid in here and make cuts in that before I put the clamshell down forever. I grind that bottom shelf down just a little bit more so it sits in there just a little bit more flush. Like that, it could definitely come down just a smidge more. I got this thing in here a little better. I got it kind of propped up in the back here. I'm gonna have that other clamshell on top of here localizing it, and then I'm gonna have it siliconed in. And if that doesn't work, I can throw in a couple of self-tappers here on the inside into that rack just to hold it in place. The grate fits in there just fine. I'm gonna change all this tin foil out. Here's my patch for the old chimney. Here's all my seal plates, I guess you'd call them. Paint looks pretty good. I'm standing in the shadow, so I can't really show you. It's pretty standard black. Used to be a painter for years, so this stuff's pretty simple. Just gotta throw on one more coat, and then I will bring that other chimney flue out here, and we'll start working on that too. It's very windy out here for me to just be doing this. See you guys critique my paintings. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. We are ready to assemble this. I got these guys all painted. We're gonna use the barbecue silicone there and do our final install of these guys and get them permanently mounted in here for life. Put the door on today, put that patch on. I'm gonna start fitting this top chimney. Hopefully by the end of the day, I'll be done with this little project and you can see how it works. Just putting a nice thick coating of that. I'm gonna slide it into place and bolt it in. You can see I already got the bottom and the top one in, so I'm just putting the side ones in. I haven't bolted that in because it's the door. I'm gonna do a little bit of painting on the door before I install that. I still gotta put that patch in right there. Man, I love final assembly stuff. I got these lips all siliconed in. I got the corners kind of, smudged in. I'll put down some smoker tape before I put the door on. I got these top screws in, so I can get the silicone here. And that silicone right there is actually gonna help the other screws stick in there better, so don't mind that at all. Let's go get the rest of that lid painted and cleaned off, and I'm not fitting this permanently yet. I still gotta cut the top half of the chimney out. So we gotta get this thing closed and remounted. This is gonna be my door. Look, I got so much room for briskies and stuff. Moment of truth. We are close, it looks like. Yeah, because it's got to. And so maybe I'll lift it up. I don't know. We'll see how it fits. It's gonna go in there like one way and one way only, I bet. I got it in. It's fitting. You can see it's There is definitely some air gaps in there, but that's nothing that we can't fix with a little hammer and silicone edge. This is gonna fit really nice in here. That's my new smokestack. Compared to that little 2-inch hole that was right here, this thing is actually gonna move some air. I have this grate in here, so I have my alignment for this rack here. I got this all sort of painted. It's not perfect, it's good enough, whatever. We're gonna call this girl Frankenstein. I think that's what its name is officially gonna be, Frankie for short. We're ready for some final assembly. You can see I got all new tin foil in here. I rewrapped my brick. I think eventually I might invest in a couple cases of fire brick and just line this whole thing. We'll see. That might be a future project, but for now, I think that'll be good. We're gonna go get the lid now. We're gonna put him on. We're gonna fit him, do some final mounting. You can see I have all of this smoker tape in here wrapped. I got it double-sided on this side because this is the side with the most gap. And then once I get everything in here and sort of lined up, I may take a hammer and take out some aggression to get the proper fitting done. We'll see. Hopefully this is the last time I'm gonna do that. That actually fit without me having a... Usually I've had to get this set in here and then go around to the other side and get that fit, but just slid right in there nice and easy. A little bit of hammering to do there. It looks really good there. We're going to be hitting that with some silicone all the way around. Probably a little bit of hammering too. You can see a little bit of light, but once we get there, there's less. So you can see a little bit of light there too. So I think there's a little bit of silicone we're going to have to do, a little bit of hammering. It actually looks pretty good on this front end, so I'll have to just get up and under here and silicone that edge because that looks really good. And then this grill is easily pullable, so perfect. Okay. What I wanted. Okay, I have the chimney sealed in. Let's see, I haven't even looked at what it looks like underneath. Looks good. I got all of this done all the way around. There's a video of a guy sealing one of these, but he didn't cut a new door in. He just kept using the clamshell, so he couldn't seal it up as well as I did. Basically, I just went around the whole edge after I taped it and sealed it. You can see it kind of coming out from the edges there. And I sealed all the way into this. Not the prettiest. I could have probably gotten black silicone and been a little happier with this. You know what? I don't care. It's a Frankenstein. Frankie can have a little black and red. It's not going to bug me at all. So I got to let all this dry. Probably going to wait at least 24 to 36 hours before I have a fire in here because I want to make sure all the silicone is dry. I gotta lay down some more smoker tape around this ledge right here so I can install the door. But really putting in the door is like the last step that I have left in this little saga of mine, and then I can be done.
Yes.
Yep, there's the door on. For the last time, I've probably put this door on and off a dozen times, getting everything fit in and drilled. And let me go get a couple more screws. Even if this door has like a little bit of smoke seepage compared to like how much smoke this thing used to leak, it's just gonna be. And we're gonna do a test fire before we put any meat on here. For one, I want to get this thing up to about 320, 350 for maybe 2 to 3 hours. And kind of bake and season it, all this new stuff in. I'm gonna spray it down, like I said, with a little bit of olive oil. Okay, so you can see here that I have a Morrison's door right here. I'm trying to get this thing bent down a little bit. I'm just using this bar as a cantilever. And put a rag over there so I'm not scratching up the metal too much. And I'm just gently applying a little bit of pressure so I can curl my lip down so I can get a better seal. All right, I got the corners fitting much better now. You can see they're actually touching the felt, which means there's gonna be less air gap. We'll see how well this seals. I might have to put another layer of smoker tape on the seal here just to get it to come into better contact. And then I'm gonna lay down a new seal on this and see how well this lid is gonna hold. I didn't tighten these down all the way because it still catches a little bit. And I don't wanna grind down this lip too far. So I'm gonna take this off and paint it. And then I'm gonna put down another thing of smoker tape right here. So when I put it all back together, hopefully I can get it to seal better. Here she is in all of her glory. Look at that. I gotta wait for everything to dry. I'll be starting the fire probably later today. I want to get this up to about 350 degrees for a couple hours just to kind of season everything in. I want to spray everything down with like some butter or some like cooking spray or something. Just to get a nice coat on there, get it all seasoned in and ready for a cook. But that's wet wood that I'm burning on purpose.
Oh, I don't see it anymore. Oh, well.
Oh, I do.
Oh, I see it. You can see it on cam too.
Oh. Smoke's coming out of the top, and that's it. There's no smoke leaks anywhere around here.
Looking at all your seams and stuff, there's
no smoke coming out of here.
see anything.
Neither do I.
Where before we would see it out the back, out the
side,
front, and
everywhere.
the side.
You remember when I was doing the beef ribs and I opened it up and like you guys would just get annihilated with poofs of big white smoke? Yeah. That's not even that bad though.
Wow. Cool.